Okay, Rudy here, 14th of February. Welcome to a special ASX Technology ETF video where I'll have a look at all our popular ones, they buy, hold or sell. At first we'll start off with the king, NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ's just currently trading in a range. Hasn't broken support yet. So we can't put a sell on the NASDAQ. If we look at the S&P 500, it's in a similar position. But if we look at the interesting switching sort of going on, if we look at the ratio between the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, you can see there's a bit of a bottoming formation here. So the non-tech sector of the S&P 500 looks set to outperform the general tech sector. Very interesting. Okay, so we'll start with the NDQ. It's the ASX one. So it's had that as a sell the other couple of weeks ago. Interestingly, it had made its measured move. We have this flagpole concept. So there's your flagpole, there's your flag. Happens to be a rounded bottom flag. Anyway, you add the projection, it gets to up here. So it's made its targeted move, but a reason that's causing this is because of the it's unhedged, that NDQ, and you've got the Aussie dollar that's rising. So the Aussie, so the worst case is a rising Aussie dollar and a crashing NASDAQ. Mr. NDQ will get smashed in that situation. So I just wouldn't be in it. One that or if you're new to this channel, first time, I have a little segment where I'm helping people build portfolios in a Host Plus Australian Super with ASX 300 shares and ETFs. Anyway, so Semi is still a hold. If we look at like the Semi over the NDQ, make sure we get the ASX version of Semi. So this is the Semi ETF has been outperforming the NDQ, and that looks set to continue. So Semi is still a hold. I did have a buy here, but I'd be using like a stop loss concept, because if we look under the hood, there's so the big holdings in Semi, ASML, Nvidia, Broadcom, Micron. If we have a look at them, so Taiwan Semi, so that looks, it's in an uptrend. Now Nvidia is very interesting. So Nvidia's got the rounded dome, which is a bearish chart pattern, and interestingly it's made its flagpole move, our flagpole, our consolidation flag, and the breakout. So this indicates a top in Nvidia, which is very interesting. And obviously Nvidia is a mammoth like a 10% move in Nvidia is 25% of Australian GDP, 2.3 times the size of the ASX. this thing. And potentially I could envisage this being a top, because NVIDIA is basically running on the AI data center theme, which has just been going full ball, to the extent of extremity. And it's one of the concerns that people have about the general NASDAQ, is that while companies are making money, they're going to have to spend bucket loads of money in this building data centers, which they don't know how they're going to make revenue from. So all that expectation, I think, could have been baked into NVIDIA. So anyway, we continue looking under the hood. So ASML, so that still looks fine. Broadcom, okay, so Broadcom's got a bit of a rounded dome happening there, so that's not constructive. And then we've got Micron Technologies, so that looks fine. So they're the main ones sitting under semi. So you've got a couple of toppers and a couple of goers. The flagpole projection for semi, so flagpole, there's our flag, has a target of $29, so could probably see squeezing that out. It'd be a struggle if NVIDIA drops a lot though, but anyway, that's just what the chart is saying. So I'd be using stop losses. Okay, Robo. Okay, so Robo is another one that, so it would still be a, so my view on these is they'd still be a buy, but you'd be using a stop loss concept, because it still has quite a measured move to go, Robo, and it's more in that robotics, the robotics theme. Now if we compare it to, so if we do semi, because semi is our benchmark, so look at semi over Robo, the ASX one. Make sure I get the ASX one. Okay, so that still actually has semi outperforming Robo, or it has been. So both of them, I guess you could say, are still. I wouldn't back up the truck, but they're not sells. Rbtz. I haven't really done much with this one. This is like I don't know, it's a bit of everything, a bit of a mixer. Would I be buying that? No, if we compare it to, so if we go back to semi, so if we do semi divided by Rbtz. Yep, that one. Make sure we get ASX one. Okay, so semi, so you can see there semis, you're much better off being in semi than Rbtz. Fang's out. I'm not even going to bother. Fang's a sell. Atec, our beloved tech sector. So it's still so it actually made it, you can see here. So there's no real flagpole on this one. This is a rounded bottom projection. So the depth of the cup, and you add it to the breakout. So bang, right in the sweet spot there. So I had Atec as a sell back in October. Now the good news, it's not a buy yet, is we've got sort of another flagpole, but so here's our flagpole. It's pretty hard to see, but there's our flag. It's an inclining wedge there, which is bearish when broken, as it did. So we've hit our target, but that does not look like a bottom. Now potentially there's some individual stocks in here that are a buy. So $10 a month, $10 a month. You can join the channel. I go through ASX US listed ETFs, shares, do daily videos. Not really focused on tech, and we'll get to that. But anyway, so that's still a sell. Tech, the whole Morningstar. I hate Morningstar. They're full of shit. sorry, Morningstar. Anyway, tech. That's a sell. Hack. So that's a sell. So it's no use comparing it to Semi. ACDC. Now I know this is a crowd favourite. You better get your flagpole right, Rudy. So ACDC has been a perler. It has made its flagpole flag projection. So it has made its projected move. If we go compare it to, so Semi over ACDC, so Semi divided by ACDC, get the Australian one, get the Australian one. Okay, so you can see here actually another bullish chart pattern forming. So this is your flag. I won't even want to do the project. So this is your flagpole, this is your consolidation flag. So this is a bullish chart pattern, but it needs to break here first. So this implies you get out of ACDC and into Semi. Anyway, that's what the charts are saying. And Driv. So Driv doesn't look too bad. So there was a buy back here. If we go and compare it again, so we compare that, so Semi's been our benchmark. So if we do Semi divided by Driv, get the ASX version there and get ASX version there. Yeah, so interesting one. So if that was just a standalone stock, so this is implying a pullback, test, and probably go on in the direction of the trend. So that would still imply Semi to outperform Driv. Although I wouldn't be selling Driv, that because that's a pretty bullish chart pattern there. That's what you want, is a big sort of rounded bottom. You want rounded bottoms and you hate rounded tops. So you like the ladies with big bottoms, not big tops. Where my channel's focused, So all this, so I'm a big believer in tech and AI and data centers, but rather than play the tech, I'm playing the resource game. So uranium, copper, oil, gas, precious metals, or that's not really AI, that's just real money. That's a different theme. Gold and silver. So one of the ETFs we're buying back here. I still believe it's got a lot of, so it's going through, it's building its, that was its first flag. So it's building its next flag here, the consolidation before the next move up. So if we go and look at Mr. Semi, over Mr. Wire, ASX version, ASX Wire, ASX Semi. So Semi over Wire. Okay, so basically Wire has been outperforming Semi. And that's there's your rounded top. So that's a bearish chart pattern. So it's currently, so this is that Wire consolidating, and when it goes for its next move, outperform Semi. So that's your ASX Tech ETF wrap. Yeah, if you're interested, only $10 a month. I do, as I said, daily videos, ETFs, ASX US. Otherwise, let us know your thoughts. So yeah.